What you saying, ladies and gents, it is your boy BucketHatSam, and yes, we are back again today for another video. Today's video is a requested video that I get every single day, and I've had to pluck up the courage to get to this, okay? This is a stinker. I'm going to hold this L. I'm going to be reacting to my 2021-2022 Premier League predictions that I did at the start of the season, where I thought I was bang on, and there are some statements in this video that are absolutely horrific, and I am just going to hold this firm L. But before we get into it, please do smash the like button and do subscribe. If we can get 40 likes on this video, that would be absolutely amazing. Let's roll that intro. This is going to be horrible. So we're going to start off with telling you where they actually finished and where I predicted them. So rock bottom of the league obviously was Norwich in 20th place. And are you ready for this? I predicted that Norwich would finish 16th. 4-place difference. What on earth was I thinking that Norwich were going to stay up? For some reason, I don't know what it was. I think there was a couple of signings I spoke about in the video, and I spoke about Daniel Farke maybe changing and the philosophy. And it seemed that Norwich were getting some momentum in the Championship, but boy was I wrong. Absolutely horrific prediction. So let's just move on to the next one. Then in 19th place was Watford, and I predicted in 19th place Watford. This is one of 2 predictions that I got right in the entire season. I think we all knew it. With Xisco Munoz at the start of the season, it really didn't work out very well. And then it was Claudio Ranieri, and it was Roy Hodgson. We knew it was going to be a rollercoaster of a season. It's what Watford do. They chop and change managers, and I think we all knew, and let's be honest, we all knew they were going to get relegated. So I'm happy with the fact I got one right. But really, it's not a proper one, right, is it? Then obviously in 18th place, the next one was Burnley, which really shocked me, and I think it shocked a lot of people. I don't think anyone ever expected Burnley to get relegated. It's just a team that they always are in a relegation battle, but they always seem to kind of scrape their way through it. Sean Dyche's men, and the fact that Sean Dyche was sacked towards the end of the season, it's been a really odd rollercoaster of a season, losing Chris Wood, signing Weghorst, things looking good, momentum, and then it all falling off. Mike Jackson nearly kept them up, and it all went down to the last game of the season against Newcastle, and sadly they didn't stay up. So they finished 18th, and I predicted 13th. So 5-place difference, and that's a stinker. 5-place difference is really not good enough. But I think when you look at it, Burnley have got a really poor side, but I just believe Sean Dyche because he kept doing it every single year. So I think we can all say that's not too bad a prediction. 17th place now was Leeds United, and this is my biggest differential. This is the one that I had my worst prediction on, and I did not think about second season syndrome. We've seen it with Sheffield United and other clubs in the past. I should have really thought about this, but I was mesmerised by this Bielsa ball and everything that was going on at Leeds. I thought there was a bigger picture. They'd signed Junior Firpo, who was turned out to be an absolute stinker of a signing. They signed Dan James. It's made quite a lot of signings, and actually Dan James was signed in January, so that doesn't even, I'm trying to get excuses for myself here, but I predicted that Leeds would finish 8th in the league. Yes, you heard me. Let's just move on because I don't even want to discuss how bad a prediction that was. And yeah, no, why am I making this video? 16th place now was Everton, another side that really shocked us all. Rafa Benitez, we all knew it wasn't going to work out, but I don't think anyone thought it was going to go as badly as it did. I thought potentially they'd get mid-table and then he'd be sacked, but Frank Lampard came in and he did a great job, let's be honest. He did absolute wonders by keeping them up, and they stayed up by a bit of a difference towards the end of the season, considering when you looked at that run when Frank Lampard came in, I think he did an absolutely brilliant job. So they finished 16th. I predicted that they'd finish 10th, so a 6 position differential. Not great again, is it? But again, I don't think many people predicted Everton to have such a stinker of a season, so I think we'll let that one slide. 15th in the league now was Southampton, and I predicted them 17th, so they actually did better than I thought. That's pretty close. I think a two difference. 15th now we have Southampton, and I predicted them to finish 17th, and I think 2 places difference. I think that's okay. I think we can all say that's fair enough. Southampton at one point were nailed on and potentially could have been sneaking their way into Europe, but then they do what Southampton do. They go on a great run of form, and then all of a sudden it just falls off a cliff, and they really, really did. Hasenhüttl, is he good enough to be a Premier League manager? There's loads of discussions with this because it's momentum and their consistency is all over the place. The only consistency with Southampton is their inconsistency. So I don't think me predicting them 17th and then finish 15th is too bad a prediction. So I'll take that one. We're going to take what we can get in this video. 14th in the league now was Aston Villa, and I don't think many people again predicted this. Steven Gerrard came in after Dean Smith was sacked around just before January time. I think it was around Christmas time. Dean Smith, it wasn't really working out after making a lot of big money signings, players like Buendia. They spent a lot of money in the summer, and a lot of those players haven't worked out. And I think I was blinded by those signings, Leon Bailey and other players like that, where they spent big money. Villa, in the last decade, are the 9th highest net spenders on the planet. This side invested a lot of money and I thought it would go places, but 14th, really, it's a very poor season from the Villa. I predicted them to finish just inside the top half in 9th place. And again, I think that made sense at the time, and looking back, I can see why I thought that, but it just really hasn't gelled. And it just shows you that money doesn't get you guaranteed results. It shows you that when you buy loads of individuals, it may not work as a unit, but potentially next season, who knows where they'll finish, because Steven Gerrard, again, but Steven Gerrard, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't plain sailing with Steven Gerrard. Again, it's been inconsistent, so we'll have to wait and see, but a 5-place differential there, yeah, I thought they were going to be 9th. Oh, another stinker. 13th place now, Brentford, the surprise package of the season. And now I think I can argue why I thought they were going to finish 20th, bottom of the league. At the time, I spoke about how in the Championship, Brentford played very expansively, and it was the discussion whether Brentford would be naive and like other sides of like Fulham and sides in the past where they've come up to the Premier League and just tried to play the way they did in the Championship, whereas they haven't. And not only that, they did sign Eriksen as well, because at one point around January time they were really falling down the table, and then as soon as Eriksen came in, the form changed. But I'll hold my hands up and say I got this one wrong, but I'm glad I was proven wrong with this one, because it just shows you to other Championship sides not to be naive and arrogant. To come to the Premier League, they changed their system, they were more direct and they were more efficient, and they got really good results, finishing 13th, an absolutely amazing season. And Thomas Frank, for me, should have been manager of the season, so well played to him. And yeah, I'll hold my hand up for that one, but I feel like everyone can understand why I said what I did. And Ivan Toney as well, what a player. He's really taken to the Premier League like a duck to water. But yeah, seven place differential, I'll hold my hands up. I'm back in that one. I can see why I said that. 12th place now, Crystal Palace. I predicted them to get relegated, 18th spot. And again, this was Patrick Vieira coming in. He'd come off the after his time at Nice, where it didn't go too well. It got really sour at the end. It didn't really work out. Not only that, they signed so many new players, a completely new philosophy. And we've seen so many times it is not easy for clubs to do this, to completely change the way they play. We saw Palace try and do it in the past with Frank de Boer, and it did not work. So fair play to Palace. They've proven me wrong again. Another side that I'm glad they've proven me wrong, because it just shows it can actually be done. But it's a long process. It's a very young side, and they did absolutely amazing. Patrick Vieira did absolute wonders with that side to finish 12th. So again, I'll happily say I got that one wrong. 6th place differential, but again, these ones, you can see my point. Hopefully, I'm hoping you get what I'm trying to say. Another stinker. Oh no. 11th place now was Newcastle, and I predicted that they would finish 14th. A 3-place differential, and wow, what an end of the season that was. Eddie Howe's men, when he came in, he did absolute wonders. It was awful under Steve Bruce. They were rock bottom of the league without a win in so long, and then Eddie Howe just literally turned it around. Champions League form when he came in, and no one expected that. And I think a lot of this now with this prediction, we've got to look at how much has changed since the whole landscape of Newcastle as a club and everything going on with Newcastle. Because at the time I said it, Steve Bruce was the manager and Mike Ashley was the owner. Obviously now everything has changed. So I tell you now, next season's prediction will be completely different. No one expected them to spend £100 million in January. And I'm not saying that is the reason why they got there, because they didn't sign that many players. And obviously they've been injured. How much they've influenced the side, who knows? But a lot has obviously changed with the new ownership, so I think we can all understand why I got that one wrong. And only 3 places, I think that's pretty solid. So let's move on to the next one. 10th in the league now was Wolverhampton Wanderers, and actually quite a disappointing season from them, really, when you looked at how they were at the start of the season when they were pushing on for Europe. I predicted them to finish 15th. I didn't understand whether Bruno Lage would do well, because obviously lost Diego Jota, one of their talismen in that side, and I worry for them next season, because the form they showed towards the end was awful. It was dreadful. The football wasn't good enough. They weren't scoring, and I feel like because of that cushion they had in the first half of the season, they could have that drop in form. But next season, who knows? But I'll hold the L on that one. 5-place differential. Bruno Lage, defensively, very, very solid, and that was what my question marks were. I said when he was at Porto and in the past, he really likes to play attacking, expansive football, and I spoke about that, about how they would be vulnerable on the counter-attack, but it was complete opposite. Bruno Lage changed up his style. They were very, very defensive. A good season looking at it as a whole, stepping back, but when you actually dive into the stats and actually look at it, it's quite disappointing that they finished 10th. So a 5-place differential for me, not great again, is it? Let's be honest. Now to 9th place, Brighton, their highest points ever in their history. Graham Potter's men did absolute wonders this season. The highest placed season for them as well in the Premier League. I predicted them to finish 11th, so a 2-place differential, and we said we will take those. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty pleased. I thought Graham Potter would do well with them. I spoke about that. I just still think the one thing they're missing is a natural goal scorer, a clinical striker. That is what they're crying out for. But what a season, Graham Potter's men, and I'm taking that prediction. Only a 2-place differential. We take those, baby. Now on to 8th place, Leicester, and quite a disappointing season as a whole. Yes, they picked up momentum towards the end of it, but overall you'd expect more from a Leicester side who have got a very good squad. I expected them to finish 5th in the league. That was my prediction. A 3-place differential. They were very disappointing, and I think a lot of people expected a lot more from them. That first half of the season was absolutely dreadful, but they picked up towards the end of it, and hopefully they can carry it to the next season. So 3-place differential, not really good enough, but again, I can see my point and my reasoning behind it. They've got a good squad, and they showed it towards the end of the season, the talent that they have. And where can Brendan Rodgers take them? Who knows, but I don't think that one's too bad a prediction. 7th place, West Ham. Now, this is another one of my stinkers. I predicted they'd finish 12th, so a 5-place differential. I thought with this weak, when I say weak, I mean in numbers, weak in numbers squad, going so far in the Europa League would not help them. But to be fair, you saw it towards the end of the season how much they tired, because they really, really did, and they've got 7th place. They've got Europa Conference League football. I think they're going to have the exact same problem next season. They did well in the Premier League, but it's just such a core. It's the same players week in, week out, and there's only so long they can do this, because I was tired for them. Players like Declan Rice, Soucek, who are playing non-stop all season. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think they need to make some signings next season, but fair play to them. I'm glad they've proven me wrong. It's just showing you that when a side can break into Europe and break into that top 7, those big clubs, they can sustain it. So fair play to them. 5-place differential, another stinker. Now on to Man United, who finished 6th place, and I predicted them to finish 4th, which is quite low down for most people's predictions. Some people were saying they're going to win the league, obviously with Cristiano Ronaldo and Jadon Sancho. It was all looking very, very, very rosy at United. And I wasn't fully backing it. That's why I said 4th. But the fact they finished 6th just shows you how poor a season. And they were very lucky. It went down to the final day to get into that top 6. The fact they only just scraped Europa League football just says how poor a season they had. I thought they were going to get Champions League football, to be honest. They should do really with some of the players in that squad. They've got some winners in that squad, but really not good enough for Man United. A 2-place differential, as I said before, we take those, so I'll take that. Pretty accurate prediction, let's be honest. Come on. Even though I said Champions League football and they got Europa League, but we'll just swipe across that. It's 2-place differential. That's what we said we're looking for. Now on to 5th place, Arsenal, the nearly men who were so close to getting that Champions League football. And let's be honest, they did bottle it. We can all say it now. A lot of people said, oh, it's a great season. When you look at it as a whole, yes, it's like similar to the Wolves. You step back, look at it from afar, a great season. But when you actually dive into it, really, and delve into it, it's not good enough, is it? Let's be honest. They should have got the Champions League. It was in their hands, and they bottled it. They simply did bottle it. And I predicted them to finish 7th. They did better than I expected. Fair play to them. 2-place differential. I thought they were going to get Europa Conference League. They got Europa League. Fair play to them. It's a young squad. I didn't think it would gel as quick as it did, but fair play to them. Good result. Mikel Arteta, you've done well, and I've done well. 2-place differential. We take those. Now into the top 4, we have Tottenham Hotspur, and I predicted that they would finish 6th in the league. And I think this one now, again, it's a 2-place differential, but when we step back and look at my prediction, I think we will all understand why I did it. At the time, Nuno Espirito Santos, I love saying that name. I didn't say it right, but I absolutely love the name. When he first came in, I thought there was absolutely no chance of making Champions League football, but they've got some world beaters in Son and Kane, so I thought they'd carry them through, but it was absolutely dreadful. Who would have thought, when I did my prediction, that they would sign Kulusevski, Bentancur, and get Antonio Conte in? So that just shows you how well they have done. And stepping back, I think I've done pretty well to get a 2-place differential, and I wouldn't have thought Antonio Conte coming in. It's still mental to think Antonio Conte is the manager at Spurs, and who knows where they could go next season with this investment that they're getting this summer. So I'm going to take that. A very good season for Tottenham, really, in the grand scheme of things, to make Champions League and that pulling power that they have next season. Fair play to them. 2-place differential, as I said. Now on to 3rd place, we have Chelsea, and I predicted them to finish 2nd. I thought they would do slightly better with the man, the myth, the legend of Romelu Lukaku. I thought he was going to change them, and I was one of the firm believers. I thought he's going to be absolutely integral to this Tuchel side, and we've just seen it's been a car crash of a signing, let's be honest. The biggest flop of the season. There's no discussion about it. It simply has not worked out, and whether he moves or not, it's just not worked out. You see it with a lot of players when they go back to try and prove a point, go back to the club where they first got let go by. it just hasn't worked out, has it really? It's such a toxic thing. And the fact that Chelsea got third as well, with everything that went on this season, again, when I did my prediction, who would have thought that everything would have gone with the ownership? And we don't need to delve into that, but so much has gone on with this club. And the fact that they got top 3 just shows you how good their squad is, but I think it also shows you how poor the sides below were. So fair play to Chelsea. I thought they were going to get second. I thought Lukaku was going to make them step up to that next level, but one differential. Second place now, obviously, was Liverpool. It went down to the final day of the season, and what a final day, honestly. If that Aguero moment had never happened, I think that would be the greatest, for the title, the greatest ending for the season. It was absolutely class. Liverpool obviously finishing second. I thought they were going to finish third. I didn't think they could keep going and keep churning out these things, because there is only so long a small squad, because realistically when you compare it to Man City, a small squad could keep doing everything that they were doing, playing in all these cup competitions and doing so well in the Premier League. But they've proven me wrong year in, year out, and I probably should start backing Klopp, because fair play to them, they've had a great season. Obviously they didn't get it exactly how they wanted. They finished second in the end, but it's still a great season for them, really. Not in Premier League standing, as in the fact that they've got 2 cups, so fair play to them. Good season. I thought they were going to finish third, and again, one differential. They've proven me wrong, so fair play to them. Klopp has done an absolute masterclass. And now on to the other one that I got right. I predicted that Man City would win the league, and they did it. Yes, they made tough work of it towards the end of the season, but fair play to them. Another amazing season from Pep Guardiola. I did predict that they'd win the league, so yeah, I got 2 predictions right this entire time. But fair play to Man City. I think it was an easy one. Anyone who didn't think they were going to win the league was in the minority. They've got such a massive squad. They really should be winning the league every year. Let's be honest. We've all got to put our hands up and say it. They've got so many world-class players. But fair play to Man City. And that is it, guys. So I've got 2 predictions right altogether. Not a great one, but we'll move on to next season. I promise you now, I'm going to get 5. We'll come back to this. 5 of my predictions next season will be right. You heard it here. But hopefully you've enjoyed the video, because I've just out myself that I'm awful at predictions, and I think looking back you can see a lot of the decisions, and I think I was naive. I was new to YouTube. That's going to be my excuse, but no, I can see what I've done. Obviously hindsight's a brilliant thing. It's so difficult to predict the seasons, and I can't wait to do the next one. Hopefully you've enjoyed this season. It's been a great season of Premier League football. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Please do smash the like button, do subscribe if you haven't already, and comment whatever you want. Laughing at me, just I don't know, just be nice, please, because looking back at this has just made me realise how much of a stinker I had. But thank you for watching, guys. As I said, smash the like button, do subscribe. BucketHatSam over and out. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.